Hello and welcome to Tiger Bites. I'm Jay, this is Tim, and we're back to comment on your comments, feedback from all of our shows on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and the Tiger Talk forum. We've also received our first 3 video messages.
If this is any indication, we're in for a rough ride.
That's right. So you can now send in your video messages or comments or feedback to bites@thetiger.com. That is BITES, bites@thetiger.com.
Can I just say how you would do it?
Yes.
So we want you to get your phone out,
Yep.
turn it into selfie mode,
Yes.
and then keep it in horizontal.
Landscape.
Don't do vertical.
Yeah.
We're not going to play those. So horizontal, just hold it up. Don't look at yourself. Look at the camera. It looks much better. I noticed that one of the people today was definitely looking at himself. And then give us a up to 20-second dissertation on something you disagree with, a comment, an observation. Go for it. Or if it's really, really, really interesting, you might be able to eke out 30 seconds, but we're going to be brutal.
Right, Tim, let's just start off with our first video message. This message is from Eric.
Hey Tiger Team, greetings from Mexico. My name is Eric and I would really much rather be in Thailand right now. I'm here in Tulum and I can't wait to get it into Thailand next month in December, so I hope I can have a smooth ride there and enjoy all of the lovely things Thailand has to offer. Thanks a lot, see you soon.
So there you go. Eric, the first ever Bites at thetiger.com video comment. Now, he actually is sort of along a theme that another person's a bit further down my list today is talking about Mexico. Apparently, you can just pretty much wander into Mexico.
Yes.
You don't need a PCR test. You can just go there and enjoy yourself. I also checked the Worldometers today, the data about Mexico, and they had a spike in like September and October, but it's almost down to about nothing. So looks like Mexico, and Eric certainly thinks so, is a pretty good place to visit,
Right.
although he wants to come back to Thailand.
Right. Do you have a comment?
Oh, I have a comment. I have a few comments. This one from Stephen Bird.
Ah, good old Stephen Bird, the
What
happy
about-
chappy.
Our favourite haters. He says that old fart in the Rent-A-Boat trip advert keeps on saying Phuket instead of Phuket. That old fart would be me. It's bad enough that we have to watch it all in the middle of your excellent presentation, referring to Jet's Thailand News Today program. Any chance of teaching him how to say it properly? Well, thank you very much for that interruption. All I can say to Stephen is there any chance of you cleaning your ears out? Because there is no way in hell that I've ever said the word Phuket instead of Phuket. Now, it is, we know, a soft P. It's not Phuket, it's Phuket.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yes, sure.
Phuket. So, but I've never ever said the word F in front of Phuket. Thanks, Stephen.
Right. Okay, moving on to moving on to our second video message. Now, this is coming all the way from Netherlands. This is from Frank Weston,
Oh no.
and here it is.
Hi Tim and Jay, Frank and Rung from the Netherlands here, and Joe Ferrari, as you can see in the background. But what I want to say, what's going on, and if it's Tiger Bites, what the whole point of the whole idea? I don't understand it.
Well, I heard Joe Ferrari and I heard Tiger Bites. That's
Yeah.
about all I got.
I think he said, I don't know what's going on around here. I don't know what's going on as well, Frank, but thank you for that hilarious message. I feel like we've just started something absolutely crazy.
So whatever you're having, was it Frank?
Yeah, Frank,
Right,
whatever
you're taking, whatever you're using, please send some over here because you're having a damn fine time. I'm not sure whether that was Joe Ferrari.
I'm not sure, yeah.
I think Joe Ferrari might be sitting in a cell in Klong Prem at the moment.
Yeah.
Okay, Sasha Taylor, a very short one, says, I prefer the shots you get in bars. There was a lot of stories yesterday about vaccines in Thailand News Today. So Sasha is more into the shots you get in bars.
Okay.
But not at the moment,
Not at the moment.
because the bars aren't open, but they will be soon.
Yes. Right, I've got my third video message now. This This one is coming all the way from UK, and it is from a gentleman called Mark Gibbs. Here's a message from Mark Gibbs.
Hi, Mark.
Hello everybody. I'm coming to Thailand because nobody in the UK is doing my teeth because they're all hiding behind COVID, and therefore I'm coming to Thailand to see my lady friend and to get my teeth done. All right?
Right. Thank you, Mark, for the video message. It was a little difficult to hear his sound because I believe whatever he used, it was in mono, so it was only coming out of one ear.
Well, obviously he needs a little bit of work done on his teeth.
Yes.
So it is one thing that you do get in Thailand, which I think is very, very, very good value.
That's right.
Some of the medical costs have risen, but dentistry is still very, very cheap. So definitely good idea. What was it, Frank?
Yeah, Frank wants to come to Thailand to meet his lady friend and do his teeth, so good on you.
I'm thinking, Frank, just a suggestion, get the dental work done before you see your lady.
Yeah, that would help.
I think that would definitely help in any future relations.
Right. Let me just get on with some of the other comments I have. I have one from Oni Nobles who says, how early or late should one start applying for the Thailand Pass? What should you have in hand before starting the application online? Thanks, Jay and Tim. You guys are awesome. As for what's required for the application, Oni, I'm sure you can find that information on the website. However, how early or late? I believe at least a week to 10 days, they say.
Well, I think they're saying at least 7 days.
Yes, at least at minimum 7 days.
But some people are able to upload their stuff, get it accepted, and then get the approval back within 1 day.
That's right.
But that's not the norm, that's the exception.
Yes.
Can we also say that coming out later today is a video where for 7 minutes all I talk about is the Thailand Pass in excruciating detail.
Yeah.
So that's coming out today, and it's a bit of everything you wanted to know about the Thailand Pass but may have been afraid to ask.
Right.
I've got two here about Article 112.
Okay.
That's the Article 112 of the Thai Criminal Code, which refers to the
Lèse
Majesté laws. Clive Baxter says, how can any reasonable person who believes in democracy and freedom of speech possibly defend 112? He's suggesting that the Prime Minister's announcement today that he approves of Section 112, wants it to continue, and there are other conservative and elite politicians in Thailand who also want to continue with Section 112, blah, 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 blah. Dave Gilmore also said, come on, Thailand, let the Thai people have their voices heard. Criticism helps to give us a new perspective and opens our eyes to things we may have overlooked or never considered. It also gives us the opportunity to improve. The facts that criticism is not allowed on certain subjects is just absurd. Yeah, I've always said that the amount of freedom of speech in Thailand is very high, certainly compared to some of the regional locations, places like Singapore, which registers very, very, very low on the annual Freedom of Speech Index. But yeah, there are some taboo topics in Thailand that the government and others don't want us to talk about, and that's sort of about where it starts and finishes. Beyond that, let me tell you, if you go to a Thai media conference with a politician, the Thai media are pretty willing, in a very sort of polite Thai way, but it's yeah, sort of their own aggro polite way of what do you call passive-aggressive way of getting their questions heard. So it's plenty of freedom of speech in Thailand, but you're right, Dave, there are some topics that are still taboo.
Right, the next comment I have, Tim, is from Shane O'Traveller, who is also a Tiger legend. Thank you for being a member. He says, Jay, a life in Phuket must have been a life worth living. Shane O'Traveller, both of us, locals from Phuket, I can tell you it was a good life indeed.
You've spent 2 decades there?
Yes, that's correct.
And I've spent a decade there, over a decade now, and it's a damn fine place to live.
Right.
Not for everybody, and some people won't like it, and plenty haven't. But for me, it's been a good life there. At least if you stay away from the touristy areas, I think it's a good life. If you live on the West Coast, then you're sort of paying extra for accommodation, extra for food, because that's what the tourists are sort of confronting every day. But if you get over to the East Coast, life's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
And a few traffic jams.
A few traffic jams, yes. Okay, moving on. I've got a comment here from James Edwards who says, if you want a show of delusion in action, watch these guys. James, I believe you're typing too fast, so careful on firstly the grammar and the spelling. Thailand has always been the home of sex tourism. You can deny all you want, but it is natural to the Thai culture and will return robustly as soon as the fearful Thai government begin to understand that COVID is a problem within Thailand, not now affected by outsiders. Okay. Sure, James. I don't even know where to begin with this one. Yes, there is sex tourism in Thailand. It definitely exists. Nobody's denying it. I've never denied it. Yes, Thailand has some of the best party scenes. Yeah, we do. However, the only point I've ever tried to make is that it has a lot more. I only answer back to the people who are like, oh, it only has sex tourism, blah, blah, blah. You being clearly one of them. It has a lot more. Open your eyes, broaden your horizons, travel a bit more, and perhaps you'll see.
Shorty has written to us, and we referred to yesterday a possible new program with Natty called Catty Natty.
Catty Natty.
Where Natty would sort of fire back at various comments. So Shorty says, waiting to see the episodes of Catty Natty.
Catty Natty.
Peter Maikichuk says, with the 6 travellers being infected, was the rest of the passengers on the flight able to do the one-night stay, or did they have to do anything extra? This is important to know for the traveller. So, Peter's referring to a rather odd story yesterday where out of all the people who had arrived in Thailand, 6 were determined to be COVID-19 positive. 3 were sent to hospital, but 3 weren't. And there's been no explanation about what happened to those other 3 people. If they were indeed infected with COVID-19, why weren't they isolated like everybody else is?
Yeah.
Thank you for taking your earphones out, because it does look like you are bleeding from your ears because they're red.
Right.
Thanks, Peter.
Thanks. Right, I've got a comment here from Adam Hend who says, wow, Jay, I hear Thais making racist comments often. I've been involved with Thais since 1996. Being that you speak reasonably fluent Thai, you must hear plenty of racist comments also. Yesterday I said, yes, that you can find light racism. Some people did correct me. I take that back. I would like to say, yes, racism is racism. There's no such thing as light racism. Adam, yes, I do believe it comes from a place of ignorance and a lack of education, or especially regarding what's appropriate and what's inappropriate. I don't generally think that they they have a strong malice or look down on people. Yes, there are definitely people who do that, but I'm talking about generally, in my experience, in the 20 years that I've been here, it comes from a place of ignorance and a lack of education.
So you are not originally coming from Thailand,
yes,
but growing up in Thailand. Did you ever get any references to your original home?
Yes. So I'll give you my experience. Like I've for the last couple of years ago, I was working in the Middle East for 2 years. I experienced a lot more racism in the Middle East, and for my colleagues and from my friends who were from different countries, from places like Pakistan, places like Bangladesh. I felt there was a lot more racism, blatant racism, and malice in people's comments. Yeah, than Thailand.
So Mr. McGurk has written to us, and he says, I wish you would visit and promote Ao Nang and Krabi. This area is spectacular from its beaches and the friendliness of its people. Phuket gets the lion's share of coverage, but nearby is the often neglected Krabi. So Tim, visit the snake farm for high adventure handling deadly cobras.
Oh, snakes. I can already see Jason getting excited.
Yeah, that's true. We have Jason here who does love reptiles.
Yes.
Which is a little bit creepy, but good on him.
He's got 3 spiders and 2 snakes. This is not a joke, by the way.
2 of the spiders are actually
on his desk. They're
deceased.
Yeah.
They're very, very much deceased, but they're still sitting there next to his computer. I don't do snakes, Mr. McGurk. I'm not going to be handling deadly cobras. Not a chance. But look, you're right. There are some very, very pretty places in and around the Phuket province, and Phuket does get the lion's share of coverage. But yeah, I can highly recommend Ao Nang and Krabi as places to visit when you come back to Thailand.
Do you want to go one more?
Scott D. Hello, Scott, a member and often commenter. The Tiger made a very smart decision of adding Natty to the Tiger team. Once again, another stellar news report with an awesome backdrop.
Natty!
Natty's now in front of our new backdrop.
That's right.
The one on the other side
The one
of
on
that.
the other side.
The brick wall. So, yes, it's not really a brick wall.
Yeah.
But it looks like a brick wall. That's all that matters.
Right. I've got a comment here from Nick Day who says, making my blood boil. Jay has no idea of what he's waffling about when it comes to nightlife. Someone needs to open his eyes. Nick, I'd like to respond to you and say I bet you don't know much about nightlife in Thailand. So let me just quickly say that there's an international way of traveling. You know, you're a tourist or coming from an international country and you party here. Then there's your way of partying, clearly, whatever that may be. Then there's a local way of partying, where the locals would rather go. They don't go to places like Pat Pong or Patong in Phuket or Walking Street in Pattaya. They go to their own local places. And then there's a Thai way of partying. So there's many actually different ways of partying, which I have experienced and I know about. So maybe I do know a little. But then again, I would like to open your eyes. But as for now, let the blood boil.
What's his first sentence?
Making my blood boil.
Oh, after that?
Jay has no idea of what he's waffling about when it comes to nightlife.
Oh,
Jay doesn't know what he's waffling about.
I was going to put the full stop there and agree with you. Finally, we've got Patrick Lapp, who says 2 weeks till lockdown. So that's a confident prediction from Patrick, who thinks we're all going down the wrong hole and it's all going to be locked down again soon.
Yeah,
I
Patrick-
think you're wrong, very wrong, Patrick. The numbers have been slowly going down. Thankfully, the number of COVID-related deaths have been going down very quickly as well. Whether we see any major uptick in cases is yet to be seen, but 2 weeks till lockdown, not a chance.
Come on, Patrick, let's be positive, shall we?
Yes.
It's Friday. It's the weekend. It's time to enjoy ourselves.
So we're either going to be accused on a daily basis of being overly optimistic or overly pessimistic, depending on the people out there commenting. But we get one or the other.
Tim loves the government. Tim loves the TAT who's promoting tourism. How dare you?
So we get one or the other, usually both, and often. That's it. That's all I've got.
That's it. That's all the comments we have
Thank
for
you
today.
so much for those video comments.
Yes.
A good start from Eric, Mike,
Yes.
and
Mike.
Frank.
Yeah, that's right.
The three of you. Thank you very, very much. It's a good start. Maybe it's a good start.
Maybe it's a good start. So yeah, go nuts. Go crazy. Let us know your comments. Let us know your feedback. Send us some video messages at bites@thetiger.com, BITES @thetiger.com, and we will feature them starting Monday. So
Every day. We'll run them all.
we'll run them all. We hope you have a good Friday. We hope you have a great weekend, and we'll see you on Monday.